Hey, hello, and hi, and welcome to Northwest Vikings Echoes podcast. I am Junior Noah Marsh.
And I'm Senior Aaron Anderson.
This is our school's podcast where we spotlight one of our students or admin that walk the hall with you every day.
Today we have our band director, Mr. Brian McMath, and the marching band drum major, Senior Riley Cassidy.
We are very grateful that you guys came on today. Very, very grateful. Very excited to talk to you. As many people know, this is your last year teaching here.
It is.
And after 21 years, we are sure that there's a lot of emotion and thought put into that. So we just wanted to, walk through questions about your career, favorite moments, why you did what you did, just some details about, kind of the legacy you're leaving here.
Sure.
Our first one is what inspired you? We're kind of starting to the very beginning here. Is what inspired you to become a band teacher or to participate in band? When did your love for the art start? And you can answer this as well.
Yes, so for me, it started a really, really, really long time ago. I was a musician growing up in my family, pianist, things of that nature. And then when I found band, it was in 6th grade, gave my mom an ultimatum, which you should never do, that if she didn't let me do band, then I was going to quit piano and organ and sort of being in the church and things that we did. So that's where it started. Fell in love with it. I enjoyed it. And then in 10th grade is when I really kind of figured out I wanted to be a band director. In a lot of ways. We never competed in high school. A lot of people don't know that about me if they haven't listened to me in rehearsals, because I have said it.
A lot, yes.
Okay, so someone
Yeah.
I've actually never competed on a field, which most people don't think considering what we do here.
Yeah.
But I never had that experience. So I wanted to make sure I gave that to my kids. So that's sort of how it started in the trajectory, of course. Being in all-district, all-state, all-county bands, that was sort of my thing because we didn't have a competitive marching band. We didn't have winter programs. I didn't even know what those were until after I got out of college, to be honest. Then I student taught and taught for a high school band in college as a tech, brass tech, visual tech. And that really showed me, he really opened up my eyes. Neil Underwood was my mentor in college. And gave me a job, and I was like, oh, this is what marching band is, or can be. This is competitive. This is fun. This is great. I saw the kids loving it. So that's sort of what has led me to where I am now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Riley, what about you? How did you kind of come into the program?
Well, I did piano as I was younger, and my mom made me take piano lessons, and I've always enjoyed music and enjoyed listening to music and making music and singing, and then I did dance for a few years, and then in 8th grade, summer of 8th grade, my mom said, okay, you got 2 choices. You can do dance or marching band. And she said, just kidding, it's not a choice, you're doing marching band. Because I think that you want to do marching band. Because I did marching band in high school. I absolutely loved it. So I think you should do marching band. And so I ended up doing marching band summer before 9th grade year. And I've been in marching band for the past 4 years. I absolutely adore it. I love it with all my heart. I feel like I've truly found my friends and family in the marching band, and I hope that all others in the marching band can feel that same happiness that McMath helps create through this brilliant program. And I remember after marching band, a couple of my friends in the clarinet section were like, oh, have you heard, Retha specifically, she was a clarinet alumni, she said, oh, have you heard of Winter Guard? I was like, no, I have no idea what that is. She was like, oh, you should come to auditions. I'm like, okay. So I showed up, and that's how I got wrapped into the world of Winter Guard, and it's been wonderful and really impactful in my life, and I'm so thankful for the opportunities that I've gotten through the programs at this school.
Yeah. So, obviously, you've been here for the past 2 decades. Kind of.
Wow. Thanks for putting it that way, man. Appreciate that.
But when you look back, what are some moments or kind of achievements that you look back and you are just so proud of?
Everybody loves to ask that question. And I don't think I can't give an answer in reality because, everybody says, oh, was it your first grand champion? Was it the winning this? Was it the trip to Rome? I mean, was it? And there's not any one specific moment that I have that as a favorite. There are things that I remember, but I can't say they're my favorites because it's no different than, I remember our first grand championship. I remember the first time we competed against Neil Underwood, who I just spoke about, my mentor, and we beat him. I remember that, right? I remember that entire day. And he remembers it, and we still talk about it because it's a big joke. But that was a great day. But I also remember when I've watched students who couldn't find their left foot or couldn't figure out how to do anything. And those are some of my favorite moments, watching them grow and progress and learn how to do those things. Because you see the tireless work and the sweat and the frustration and the aggravation, and then you see them getting it for the first time, and they squeal and they jump for joy or whatever they've done. And those are some of my favorite moments. So I mean, it truly is a combination. People think I'm making it up, but that's really how I feel. You know, playing for the Pope was amazing. Going to Hawaii and performing was amazing. Like, we've done a lot of amazing things, but having a student in ninth grade as a clarinetist, I remember we went to Toronto just for a trip, just to go enjoy and see the city. And I remember him not having enough money and spending his money early. So I gave him extra money. And now he's a master clarinet performer and doing the thing, and is coming back for the alumni concert. Like all those memories, right? They're all just as important as the next. So watching students find themselves, and those are always the things you remember. So there's not a favorite.
Right.
So would you say it's more of, like, instead of achievements or like specific moments or, you know, events, would you say it's more of the feeling?
It's
feeling
always
of what
about the
it
feeling. As I preach, because I do preach a lot to my students, it's not what we do, it's how we do it.
Yeah.
So it's what they do, but then it's what it gives to me. It's those experiences, the moments, the feelings, those things that I remember.
Yeah.
Because trophies are just dust collectors that eventually get thrown away, and in reality, they don't matter. Because if you ask my students, if they're answering honestly, it's they remember the trophies, they remember the competitions, but they remember the friendships, the jokes, the fun.
Yeah.
They remember that, not
Yeah.
where they placed.
Yeah.
You know, it's making those memories. So definitely.
Yeah, and you kind of talked about like watching your students grow. Riley, how do you think, like, looking back at when you started when you were a freshman, how have you kind of seen yourself grow? How has it like impacted your high school career, and as you like go out into the world because you are a senior, like how do you plan to carry that throughout your like life?
Well, I've learned a variety of lessons through marching band. Things like time management. Like during marching band season, you're forced to like get your homework done on time, to use your time wisely. Otherwise, because you literally have no time for like anything else between marching band, school, sleep, eat, sleep, repeat, just over and over again. And it's wonderful and it's a ton of fun because you're spending all of your time with these people. Another thing, working cooperatively and like team building and that sort of thing, and like learning social skills and how to work with a big group of people, because there's like 173 of us this year, I think there were.
Wow.
And so that's a lot of people, and a lot of people you want to work together and cohesively to build a better band for each other. And so you learn how to approach issues like diplomatically, and like how to, I learned how to lead with kind of like lead by example and with positive images, and like being something that people can aspire to instead of trying to be a dictator. Not that anyone has been or is in the bank program, but that's how I learned, and I hope anyways but I hope to take that kind of mentality of trying to be a positive role model for others into my future career in my life in college, and being a person that people can look up to and that sort of thing. So and like for clarinet specifically, to go back, how have I seen myself grown? I remember Clarity year, first spring rehearsal, I almost cried looking at the clarinet music. I'm like, I don't know how to play this. And then I got to Beetlejuice year, and there were these crazy scale runs, and I'm like, I don't know how to play this. And then I got to mixtape year, and there were like similar scale runs, not as crazy, I don't think. And I was like, oh, I can do this. And then I remember by the end of all of those seasons, Clarity, Beetlejuice, mixtape, I was able to play the music. So I've definitely seen myself grow as a musician through marching band, but also as like a human being and as a person. And it's been a great place to grow.
I love the, you know, all the stories. I mean, they're pretty common stories wherever you look, you know, seeing people grow through extracurricular, no matter what extracurricular it is. I mean, if it's someone's favorite, you'll often see them talk about the educator, the teacher a lot. But I think an interesting question is to see how the students can affect the educators. So my question for you is, how has teaching students, certain students, I mean not like specific students, but how has that impacted your view for music, or how you educate music, like what you love about it?
That's a very difficult question. So good job for you for asking. I tell all of them, and it is the truth. And in the last probably decade, since you brought up decades, within the last 10 years, especially since COVID, right? COVID was horrible for everyone who existed. And knowing that we have been one of the very few programs in the state of North Carolina who has grown since COVID, the students push me to be better, because when I push them to be better, right, they're going to get better, and then I'm like, okay, I got to find something to make this different or better or more difficult to push them. And I call it the hamster wheel of success. Like you get on it and it's usually a negative, my mind's running in negative thoughts or whatever, but it's actually very positive because they push me to think of something to play Omar Thomas, to play music that is difficult emotionally or technically, like we're reading right now. Godzilla Eats Las Vegas.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
an insanely crazy piece. It goes with a movie score, with a movie shown with it. Like we just started working on it. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I've got to score study and look at this. So they're pushing me to get better. So when they're improving and I see them get this, or they push me when I have a student who can't get something, and then I have to differentiate my instruction to get them to understand it. So that's the way it always impacts me, because I look at it, it's a challenge, but it's a positive one. Like they're not getting it, so I'm doing something wrong. What can I do to be better to make them be successful? Because that's all I care about. And when they are successful, well, now I've got to step up my game to create something different, not harder, but just how do we approach something different? And how do we create living art in a different way? How do you take a mixtape 80s cheesy show, but it was a blast,
It was.
right? You know, it was so much fun for
fun.
the audience and for the performers and everybody else. But it was 80s music. It's Careless Whisper. It's cheesy music. But how do we make it different, you know, and sort of elevate it? So that's the way it pushes me in a positive.
Yeah. I mean, so both of you guys are both leaving, which is obviously going to leave a mark on the program. But what do you think is going to be, like, the one thing that you're going to miss throughout? Like, you're going to look back and be like, wow, like, this is what I miss. I want to go back to high school, or I want to go back to, like, work life and just just experience this one thing.
Wow. Let me think.
Okay, well, I've got my answer there.
Okay, then you go ahead.
Because everyone asked me this question.
Right.
The only thing, and this is only as a very broad term, the thing that I will miss the most is just making music on a daily basis with my kids. Like that's what I will miss. Watching them grow, watching them improve, do their thing, like that's what I miss. I won't miss teaching F sharp and teaching this rhythm and teaching a 45 toss and teaching a round
Right.
flat on the key. Like I'm not going to miss, here's your left foot. Like I'm not missing any of that. But it's the moments of MPA and the music and that type of stuff. Like on a daily basis, I'll miss it. But I'm still got my hands in it, so it's okay.
Yes. I'd say I'd miss going and watching competitions. Like in marching band, I loved getting to watch bands with my friends and like hearing their music, watching their show, and feeling like the feelings of their show and being impacted by their show, and just watching them make living art. And for Winter Guard, I absolutely love watching other color guards with our guard and getting to see them do all these amazing things and like get to encourage them if they drop, or just to watch them create something beautiful. And I feel it's a beautiful thing to watch others create something that you also create, because it teaches you to appreciate what you have, because not everyone has a band of 173 people
That's what I was
or
going to say.
a guard going that's on a level to be able to go to world national championships, which is crazy. And I'm so grateful again for all the experiences that I get through this program. But I think there is definitely something beautiful in getting to watch others create what you do with your friends, and it creates good feelings.
I think one of my favorite things from being in the band program is, McMath, you are really good about keeping us humble. Like, you are really good about, like, telling us, like, we are so lucky to have an almost 200-member band. That is so rare.
Yes.
And I think a lot of new people coming into the band, they don't really realize that. I think a lot of people think, like, we deserve to get first at competitions because we have so many people. And, you know, I think some people might take that for granted. And I am just really happy that, like, you are so good about like telling us like we are so lucky to have this.
We're very fortunate here.
Yeah, we really
Not
are.
many programs have this, and it's super important for that to happen. For everybody to understand it.
McMath, if you could leave your students with one piece of advice out of everything, like a sentence quote, what would it be?
My thing is just don't have regrets. Like I have 2 regrets in my life that I wished I would have done and participated in, and I didn't because I didn't understand it. I was afraid. And that's what I try to teach through all my activities. Just go for it, right? Don't have any regrets. As long as you're respectful, it's positive, it's pushing you, just be better, not bitter.
All right, well, that's all that we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for coming in, and we just want to say thank you so much for the like footprint that you have left on the program and just in the school as a whole. And we wish you the best in your retirement. Even though we know that you are definitely coming back to support us.
I am.
I
will
don't
be
think you
here.
could ever leave. I don't think us as seniors are going to ever be able to completely leave the program.
No one does.
Yeah.
It's great.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Well, that's awesome. That's all for today. Keep up for the next episode. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye, so long, sayonara.